And of course, as I mentioned to you last week, I'm also super excited to share with you some of the details about our first church plant. So let me take a moment right now just to give you some details about this first church plant that we intend to launch. Where are we intending to plant? By God's grace, our first church plant will occur in Huber Heights. When will that church plant take place? By God's grace, again, we plan that in the fall of 2025, we're going to send out our first church planting team. They're going to start out as a campus of our church, and then after 2 years, they will become an autonomous church plant. And who is the Lord raising up to lead that team? We're thrilled and thankful. We believe that the Lord has called Bryson Jackson to become our first church planting pastor. And so I just want to take a moment to invite Bryson and Skylar to come on up to the stage. They're going to share a couple things with you. As they're coming, sweetly holding hands. Cutest couple in the church right there. There you go, folks. There we go. You got to clap for that. So as they're coming, let me say this. Many of you know that we have been wanting to send out church planting teams for a couple years now, but one of the things we've been waiting on is for the Lord to raise up leadership. We wanted the Lord to bring us leadership. They were called and qualified and also had the vision and the leadership ability to do this. And so let me just say, shortly after Bryson came on staff with us in 2023, I sensed that God might be calling him, and we've developed a wonderful relationship or so. And over the past year, the elders and the staff and our church leadership team have really collectively affirmed and confirmed Bryson's gifts and calling. And the Lord has brought him a wonderful helper at his side in Skylar. And so we believe that God has raised up Bryson to be our first church planting pastor. So I just wanted to give Bryson a minute to share some of his heart with you.
Well, good morning, UBC. My wife and I have been so blessed to be a part of the fellowship and the team here. Right now, I currently serve as your director of groups and classes, and my wife as well serves as tech team specialist, and we love our church, and what a blessing it's been. It's really interesting. From the moment the Lord first stirred affection in my heart for the local church in high school, it was clear to me, and I think clear to a lot of others as well, that the Lord was leading me in a specific direction. And over 10 years of serving in one other ministry and now at UBC through mentors and even just through gift areas and sensing personal calling and aspiration, have definitely had the desire to serve as a lead pastor as the Lord would have in the future. And it was awesome to see how, as we came to UBC and began entering into the conversation that was already taking place here about the heart for church planting, Skylar and I began to thoughtfully and prayerfully put that before the Lord. So over the course of this year, we have taken steps with our elders and with our church to go through assessment through the Southern Baptist Convention and be able to pray through even like, Lord, where would you have us go, and what does this look like? How would we do this? And it's been awesome to see the Lord's hand in confirming for us trajectory, where we're going, and ultimately even for us to be able to think through and pray through the heartbeat of why we would do this. And you guys who know me know that I passionately love this body of believers. I passionately love the mission and vision that the Lord has raised up here. And so it is one of the things that, as the Lord has stirred in our hearts with a passion to multiply the gospel and the need, it is something that has continued to be something I can't ignore, that we can't ignore in our spirit. And even just this past week was reading a number of statistics related to the church in America at large. Every year, there are 7,000 churches across America that close their doors, and there are only 4,000 churches that are planted, replacing them each year. That means that next Sunday, 135 less churches will be gathering on a Sunday morning each week. And so as we talk about this is something that is a desperate need in our community in the Miami Valley. And so as we've discerned and really fervently prayed and asked the Lord where he would have us plant, we really believe and love to explain this a little bit further to you interpersonally or at one of the interest meetings that the Lord has called our hearts to plant in Huber Heights. There are over 45,000 people in that community alone, and then in the surrounding communities, over 100,000 people. And it's interesting because you might say, well, aren't there churches in that community? Yes, there are. But honestly, if every gospel preaching church in that community was packed to the brim on a Sunday morning, it wouldn't come close to reaching the lostness of those who desperately need the gospel of Jesus Christ in that community. And so as we have begun to even talk with pastors and leaders and people in that community, they have just said, yes, like we need more churches, and there is a desperate need in this community. And so we have started to just take these steps and are praying that the Lord would continue to not just call our hearts, but that he would stir in the hearts of others that would go with us, and others that would have a deep sense of calling and passion for the gospel to be made known in that community. Same mission and vision of our church, we hope to deploy in another community in the Miami Valley, that we would be able to make wholehearted followers of Jesus Christ that know him and make him known in Huber Heights. And so as I even reflected this week on, it hurts to think of not continuing to fellowship in the same way. A year from now, things will be different. And in a lot of ways, for me, that does make my heart hurt. But my heart hurts even more for those who do not know where their eternity stands. And my heart hurts more for those that desperately need us to go to them and to make the gospel accessible to them. And so for that reason, my wife and I have put our foot forward to say we're ready to take this step and partner with you as a church, and we would love you to continue to partner with us as well as we discern the heart of the Lord on these steps.
Amen. So this has been a big step for them, right? We're talking about this discipleship pathway, and that some will be called to go on the launch pathway. And it takes faith to step out into that endeavor that the Lord may call some to do. And this has been a big part of Bryson and Skylar's process of growth in the Lord. And let me just say this. In the church family, some of you may sense God leading you to be part of this church plant or one in the future. And you obeying that call of God is going to be a big step for you to grow in the Lord as well. And I want to just say publicly on behalf of our elders and staff, we want everybody in this church to open up their hearts about praying about whether or not God is calling you to go be a part of this new work with Bryson and Sky. We welcome that prayer. We want you to obey what the Lord is calling you to do. So, of course, we know that you're going to have loads of questions about how that works and what is going to be involved in all of that. So, one next step that we're inviting you to take is to join us at one of our upcoming church planting interest meetings. They are coming up on November 20th and 23rd. Both of those meetings are going to be covering the same content, so just pick one. But what we would ask you to do is if you maybe live in the North Dayton area, Huber, Vandalia, Fairborn, Riverside, if you live in that area, maybe you're in a growth group that's in that area, or maybe honestly you don't live anywhere near there, but your heart is stirred, we just want you to go online and sign up to come to one of these church planting interest meetings, because we are going to talk a lot more about how it works. We know that some of you won't be able to make it on one of those dates, so Bryson, just kind of tell everybody, what do you want them to do if they can't come to one of these things, but they still really want to talk and learn more?
Yeah, I just want to say that my wife and I are both accessible for interpersonal conversations. So we love sharing what the Lord has laid on our hearts about this and casting vision. We would love to connect with you, even if, we have a meal and discuss, what the Lord's doing. And it's going to take the Lord raising up a team to do this. And so we have stepped forward to say that we're ready to lead it. But we believe firmly that the Lord is going to call and stir in the hearts of a team that's going to go participate in this gospel work. So just want to say that you can send me an email if you want to connect, or find us on a Sunday morning or any other time during the week, and we would love to talk about it. And then, even Jason and I, would be willing to come and connect with growth groups over the next couple months and things along those lines to talk about what the Lord's doing and how you might partner with us.
All right. So don't be shy about asking Bryson or Skylar how they can maybe meet with you and talk it through. We all know that there's nothing shy about Bryson Jackson, right? He is going to be talking to people about this, right? And so we welcome that. But church family, can we just praise the Lord for what he's doing in Bryson and Sky together? That's a good.